Welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'll be breaking down and analyzing the potential matchup between current light heavyweight champion Jon Jones and heavyweight powerhouse Francis Ngannou. So this matchup has been building a lot of interest because Jon Jones has been calling out Francis Ngannou ever since he saw OSP fight or debut in the heavyweight division, his heavyweight debut. So he saw OSP's opponent he's fought before, or opponent he'd pretty much manhandled out there and had his way with, and he saw him go to heavyweight. OSP was not successful in his debut at heavyweight, but he saw that he could at least hold his own at heavyweight with one of the bigger heavyweights. So he felt if OSP, some guy he destroyed, can go up there and have success, or at least hold his own at that weight class. And it was a split decision, so he went up there. Not the prettiest performance, definitely didn't come away with the win, but he didn't look all too bad at heavyweight. Did he look great? No, but he was able to hold himself, and Jon Jones sees himself as a much more technical fighter. As far as physical wise, OSP's athletic and all this and that, but Jon Jones was able to have his way with him at light heavyweight. So he feels a guy that he matches up with strength wise well and is far more technical than. And an opponent like that was able to go up there with a credentialed heavyweight over years and years of MMA experience and at least put on a decent performance, or at least that's some respectable performance in a loss. So since he saw that fight, Jon Jones kind of visualized himself, and what he did with that, he saw the biggest, or at least the hottest heavyweight at the moment, and that was Francis Ngannou. Is Francis Ngannou the champion? No, but is he the contender? Number one contender right now? No, because Daniel Cormier is still right there. But if Daniel Cormier wasn't in the picture, he'd be right there in that title. He'd be right there in that title shot. If Stipe Miocic wasn't in the picture, if that matchup between Stipe and DC, the third matchup, the end of the trilogy, wasn't in the way, he'd be right there fighting for a title. That's the only thing that's keeping him from a title shot right now. So Jon Jones sees a chance to step in, or at least get into the talks. Like, he knows right now he can't really fight. He knows right now that he can't fight and make the money that he would have liked to make because of there aren't live gates. He still could draw a lot of attention by a pay-per-view, but definitely his money's gonna take a hit because there's no live gate because of the coronavirus. So I guess he's doing a lot, like, just by talking this up, he's doing a lot of stuff to try to, get his name back out there. And it's like a win-win situation. So even if he doesn't fight, he can at least say he called him out and, make excuses that they didn't pay him the right amount of money, so he can still get attention that way. Put his name back in the picture without having to fight. And if they do fight, he's fighting a guy that if he beats him, then he's right there for the title shot at heavyweight. And also, by doing this, is another way it helps him that maybe a tougher matchup he feels in his head, whether this is true or not, then Dominic Reyes or these other young guys that are in his division kind of chopping at his bits right now. That could be more tougher matchups, not because of their size or their power, but because of their technique in the full package. You feel that Ngannou just brings power, pure power. That's in athleticism. That's what Ngannou brings, like power, athleticism, strength. Not the best technique, and everyone knows that. So that's probably why he feels like it might be the safer matchup, make the most money matchup, get the most attention matchup. And even if he doesn't get the matchup, at least takes people's attention off something else, or maybe the fact that people say, oh, he's scared to fight this guy or scared to fight that guy. Just by even mentioning Ngannou and talking that trash up, he just draws more attention to himself and off other things that he don't want your attention on, like his issue with the law, his issue, like his close recent title fights with other opponents like Thiago Santos and Dominic Reyes. Yeah, so he's looking at this a lot of ways. But now to the actual analysis and breakdown. So we look at this fight right here. Both men are 6'4", whether Ngannou's an inch or, well, not an inch, but like a centimeter or so taller than Jon Jones, or Jon Jones a centimeter or so taller than Ngannou. It's not no big factor as far as, it's not no big difference. It's definitely a factor because, Jon Jones benefits from his height and his reach. And in this fight, he doesn't really have that, or he doesn't have that. Ngannou has an 83-inch reach, whereas Jon Jones has an 84.5-inch reach. So Jon Jones probably has the least of reach advantage he ever had in a fight if he would go into his fight with Ngannou. Age-wise, they're both roughly the same age. Ngannou was 33 and Jon Jones is 32. Ngannou was born in 86 and Jon Jones was born in 87. But if they fight anytime before September, when Ngannou turns 34, I think they'll both be 33, so it'll be roughly the same age. So you can't say like, oh, this guy's so young, or this guy's so young, and this guy's over the hill, or that guy's over the hill. As far as age, they're both roughly the same age. But Jon Jones definitely has much more experience. Whereas Ngannou still hasn't got a title, won a belt. Jon Jones was already a champion like 10 years ago. And has been a champion, or been in that picture is a champion, or viewed as a champion, and viewed as this undefeated fighter, and viewed as this GOAT contender, or one of the GOATs, if not already the GOAT, for many years now. So roughly the same age, but John Jones definitely has far more accomplishments. So you could definitely say that he might be more worn down than Ngannou, who roughly really started fighting not too long ago. So he doesn't have the most damage. There's not the most tape on him, but also it's not like Ngannou's some big puzzle. He's just a specimen, more so than a puzzle. It's like how to avoid getting punched in the face and getting my lights taken out. That's more so than anything. Like, oh, John, well, he's doing something so tricky. Nah, he's just literally uncorking those hands on you and putting your lights out. That's literally what Ngannou comes out there and do. I might just be disrespecting him a little bit by saying he has no technique, but he has technique, but it's not the most. And maybe he has some little underrated skills and technique, but as far as where it should be or could be, it's not there. It's still more so his power than technique and strength. So when John Jones sees this matchup, he sees a guy that's definitely his height, a guy that definitely has closed that reach, a guy with definitely with power. But you gotta realize Ngannou really hasn't shown much outside of that. He had like one submission win. He has shown some good takedown defense, some good, well, no counter wrestling, but like good takedown defense and good power, good reflexes. And that's about it. And you look at his last fight with Jairzinho, it wasn't the best technique in that fight. Look at this recent streak of wins. It wasn't the best technique in those fights, like especially this last Jairzinho fight. In the Jairzinho fight, like Jairzinho pretty much was filling him out with leg kicks and testing the range, testing the distance, testing the reflex, and then basically Ngannou just started swinging on him, and he caught Jairzinho pretty much off his toes a little bit. He wasn't really 10 toes like he should have been right there, and he tried to throw a check hook while his punch was smothered, or while his feet were kind of close together, like didn't have the distance they needed for him to generate the power he wanted to. And even if they did generate the semi-perfect or were in better position, the fact that just that position, like he did land the punch, but he wasn't in the best position to land it with the most power. And then also when he throws that check hook, say somebody eats that punch, Jairzinho's open to be punched. Like usually when you throw the check hook, you kind of step off and roll off to the side a little bit. And Jairzinho has been getting away from a lot because most times when he lands it, he stuns his opponent, so he doesn't worry about a counter shot. But when Ngannou just pretty much ate that shot, and it wasn't, like I said, he wasn't in the best position to throw it. All it did leave him open. Like Ngannou ate the punch, and then once he got through that punch, Jairzinho's chin was right there. He wasn't rolled off to the side. He was just right there to get caught with some hooks. He didn't duck down. He didn't do nothing. He just do the hook, kept the same level. So he was still in the path of those wide swinging hooks and got knocked out. KTFO. He got knocked out. But yeah. So it was just some little technical errors in there. You can't really expect the same technical errors from John Jones. John Jones does have some technical errors in it, what he does. Matter of fact, let me kind of backtrack a little bit, what I should have said at the beginning of the video. But in this fight, if both guys had better boxing, this will make this fight an easier fight for whoever had better boxing. But if they both had better boxing, this would make it an easy fight. Because if John Jones has some better head movement and didn't just run to get out of certain situations, and he could just make slight little head movements and just avoid and evade shots, dip, and I'm messing the words right now, but out of the way, if he can move his head out of the way of these punches, he could definitely have a lot more success. He could probably even be in boxing distance a lot more in this fight, and wouldn't have to worry about being at kicking distance just to give him the extra time to avoid shots. He could just roll, block, avoid shots, kind of like roll with them off his guard a little bit. Have a better jab and stick that jab on Ngannou, use that footwork. Then he could have an easier fight with Ngannou, because not like Ngannou has that many punches. He had like an overhand. I never really seen a real good jab from him. And he had like an uppercut. He got some wide sweeping hooks. With the sweeping hooks, you can just duck and evade those and stuff. I'm not saying you're gonna do a overexerted duck, which is gonna get you caught by the uppercut. But you look like a nice little dip, slip, move the feet, so you're not in the same position to be caught with the uppercut. Turn the elbow in a little bit, so if you do the uppercut does come at you, could really roll it off, roll it so it doesn't hit your chin, or really connect more on the elbow than the chin, so you have time to actually react now. But I'm saying a lot of stuff, but either way, if you had better boxing, better head movement, you can avoid the limited strikes that Ngannou has. Especially if you just kind of get him out of that first round, trying to, use the foot movement, keep him at a distance a little bit. I'm not saying it's going to be anything is perfect or a guarantee, but it definitely makes fight a lot easier when you got good head movement, good boxing, or just good fundamentals, really. Matter of fact, literally just good fundamentals. And you just got a guy with limited striking technique. It makes it easier to fight. Especially with all the talent that John Jones had. I'm not saying not even just basic fundamentals, but that on top of what John Jones already has will make this an easier fight for him. But I doubt he'll get it. It's been all these years, and his boxing is still one of his weaker areas in his game. So that will definitely make the fight. That's what makes the fight interesting, because we know his boxing isn't the best. It was shown in Dominic Reyes' fight and the Gustafsson fight. So against a guy like Ngannou, striking is limited. The fact that he's got that power and that all it takes is one shot, and John Jones relies on his chin and kind of gets away with some sloppy technique out there. So it's John Jones opening for these shots potentially. And like on the other side, Ngannou just had a more steady jab, more dictative jab out there, and could just keep sticking out on John Jones and fire like a right hand down, like straight down or across. He could tag John Jones up because they're the same height, roughly the same reach. So it's not like John Jones, he's just got to carry go a mile away. You don't have to swing no big wide hooks and knock John Jones out. Matter of fact, you don't have to swing no big wide hooks and knock anyone out when you got that type of power. You just got to put that power on him. Whether it's a jab, a hook, or a haymaker, or uppercut, or anything. Even the light strikes could tag him up. You just catch him with a perfectly timed jab, or just keep walking down and keep putting that power on him with a jab and walking John Jones down. It was straight. And let him try to shoot these panic takedowns and stuffing him and constantly just in his face, just peppering him with these jabs. But that's not Ngannou's style. He's going to swing these big, wide, what did Rampage used to call them, these bugalows or juggalos or whatever those things called. Whatever case, he's going to swing these big haymaker type shots. That gives John Jones the opportunity. And John Jones not having the best boxing fundamentals, that gives Ngannou a shot. Like, so both of them have flaws that they kind of refuse to make, but John Jones definitely the more technical. He'll be the faster fighter, and he's definitely far more skilled and far more experienced. And I think as far as the fight goes, it kind of comes down to, matter of fact, before I even say that, I would favor John Jones in this fight. Despite what I'm saying, I would favor John Jones. That's one thing I'm going to say. So despite this, I would favor John Jones. Probably 70% chance I would favor him to win. The power is definitely there, but if Ngannou, the fight even makes it out of the first round, the odds instantly swing heavily to John Jones. And John Jones, we know has a good chin. We know he has a wide arsenal of shots. We know that when John Jones goes to fight anybody, he's going to make sure he has all the advantages. So expect John Jones to be super jacked and expect him to get away with it. So John Jones is going to be stronger than he was before at light heavyweight. He's probably going to beef up and turn to Overeem when he first came to UFC and Strikeforce and all that type of Overeem, like super Overeem. He probably gonna look like that. Like expect the worst, because John Jones is gonna do whatever it takes to win. That he's that type of guy, that type of fighter. So I'm expecting the best Jones. I'm expecting him to come up with a good game plan. I'm expecting him to be tough. I'm expecting him to show the heart he always shows. You could say, oh, he didn't win these fights, but in every fight you've seen John Jones in every tough situation, he always shows up. So I expect, yes, a knockout can bypass heart. Like, you get your senses knocked out of you. You can have all the heart you want in the world, but somebody knock you out, you knocked out. But all that said, if John Jones has a choice in the matter, he's going to fight. It's going to be to dig down and win fights. So we have seen the heart of John Jones, where we haven't really seen it from Ngannou. So past that first round, the odds swing heavily in John Jones' favor. I definitely think he can make it out of that first round. He has a lot of arsenals. I think he has the longer limbs. He's more legs than anything. He's pretty much arms and legs. So, they're the same height. John Jones can use those legs very well, spinning back kicks, teep kicks to the knees, head kicks, front kicks, flying knees, and just really mix up the arsenal and give Ngannou different looks. And he's faster than Ngannou, and Ngannou most gonna be swinging hooks and trying to. And also, John Jones not gonna be in front of you like some of these other opponents. Like, you could say Curtis Blaydes might be a good example of how the fight could play out, but John Jones doesn't really mix in wrestling as much as he did in the past, because he's got more confidence in the striker. I think over time in the fight, also you gotta realize the clinch. And as a matter of fact, it's just so many different tools that John Jones has and so many different avenues he can go to really his strategy in this fight should and probably will be a stalling type of strategy. He's not gonna go out there and try to trade with Ngannou. Ngannou definitely have to address it, but he's definitely be trying to duck under, get in clinches, and do anything to make the fight smother. And does Ngannou really have no good elbows in the inside? Really, Ngannou's best kind of more so at mid-range, where John Jones had long-range shots, he has mid-range shots, he has close Muay Thai shots, whereas Ngannou kind of more so that mid-range where he could drop those big overhands and up. As a matter of fact, a little bit up close, he got uppercuts, but it's not the most clean stuff. It's just innate training. It's not like he's really practiced it so much that he knows what he's doing with those areas. Like he pretty much caught Cain Velasquez one of those short uppercuts. Like, it wasn't the most technique. He just put his fist in and pretty much really just barely touched Cain Velasquez, and then his knees buckled. Like, it's just kind of training more so than that knowledge. He just instinctively reacted and caught Cain Velasquez. But no knock against him, I'm just saying. As far as John Jones, he's actually proven and he knows what he's doing every single step out there. He's out-thinking, outsmarting, and setting things up out there. Whereas Ngannou, outside of some stuff, most of the stuff is more so just like reactionary. But that being said, like I said, I feel like John Jones has the more tools. Yes, Ngannou has power, but really outside of that, also all people are saying he's big. John Jones isn't looking the best right now, and Ngannou can land the power on him and he'll knock him out. John Jones has a good chin, but Ngannou's power is something different. That's basically what they're saying. Like, the same height, so it's gonna be easy for Ngannou to get to him and tag him, and John Jones can't deal with that power. But like all things, power, it just, like anything, can be overcome with the right approach. Speed can be overcome, power can be overcome. So I favor the guy with more tools and more techniques and more experience. Yes, Ngannou is hot right now, but John Jones has many ways to deal with those things. And like I said, his boxing isn't the most technical. His defense, the fundamentals aren't where they should be or could be. But he's gotten he got him by just well with his flaws, just as every other fighter. Because no fighter is perfect, especially in MMA when you got so many different skill sets. You're bound to be weak in some area, or you're just going to be not that great in all areas. Where John Jones is great in a lot of things, the thing he's greatest at is winning. Whether it be by what we may say is cheating, or whether it's true or not, we're not getting into that. John Jones always finds ways to win, and I'm kind of just hinting at what I'm saying there. But either way, I feel like John Jones is going to mix it up, take him out of the first round, and then do what John Jones do, start to wear on him, and then start to work for takedowns, though. I can't really expect Ngannou to be strong throughout these rounds, because if you're picking Ngannou, or you're leaning towards Ngannou, you're leaning towards Ngannou to get a finish rather early, if not in the first round, probably in the second round. You're not saying, Ngannou will knock him out in the fifth round or the fourth round. Maybe the third round's a stretch, but really first or second where you're leaning to Ngannou. Anything past that, you're like, Ngannou probably not going to have the energy. John Jones is going to have the cardio, or John Jones should have the cardio, should have the work rate, should have the pace, and should have all these other things. But Ngannou, if he's going to do it, it's going to be in the first two rounds or nothing. Like, he's going for broke in the first two rounds or nothing. I think John Jones could definitely take him out of those first rounds and drag him to the deep end, mixing in the clinches, trying to tie those arms up, trying to weigh on him. Ngannou could just probably manhandle him, get a break out of these clinches, but John Jones is going to keep pressing him, keep working him. And just like he did in the Dominic Reyes fight, you could say he didn't win the fight. You could definitely say he was able to weather the storm and start to walk Dominic Reyes down in the fourth and fifth round. So, John Jones can endure the storm and take you to the deep end. So, definitely the power is different, the size is different. But John Jones is going to, like he always does, is more so than he adapts to every single fighter. And he's not going up to fight Ngannou just saying, just off cocky. He's cocky, but John Jones, nothing about John Jones is that he's one of the guys that take the most precautions with everything he does. Like, he ducked heavyweight division for so long. If he's coming up to the heavyweight division, like actually coming up to the heavyweight division, he's coming up there knowing he knows something. Like, he's not just going up there, just like, I'm just the man. He'll take even the most precautions. Like, he literally was doing the most just before fighting Daniel Cormier. Yes, Daniel Cormier is that dude, but that's a guy that you're way younger than. A guy that you have a height, the reach, the speed, pretty much everything over him except like pure wrestling. And he still took all the precautions he needed to beat Daniel Cormier. Took all the precautions he needed to beat Alexander Gustafsson the second time. So if he feels such a big match or such a big threat, well, matter of fact, the scarier the opponent, the better John Jones is going to be. He wasn't not scared about these last three guys. That's why we didn't see the best John Jones. That's really why we didn't. And maybe that's because he isn't taking the drugs because he wasn't scared of them. But whether he do or do not take them drugs, expect something different from John Jones. But again, hinting. But yeah, as far as John Jones, if he comes up to fight Ngannou, he's taking all the precautions he needs to fight Ngannou. And he's coming with the right game plan. And I think in the fight with Ngannou, you got to be scared. You got to be. So John Jones is going to be training harder than he ever trained before, or at least harder than we've seen him train in recent, making a better game plan than recent. And he's definitely going to be looking to doing everything he can to avoid the big power shots of Ngannou. And just like Ngannou, John Jones got some pretty good reflexes and pretty good natural ability. So I feel like he can evade most of those shots. Like I said, mix it up, avoid the power, take him to deep round. To the later rounds, and then drown him. He's a better wrestler than Stipe, far more tools than Stipe. The only thing that he doesn't got on Stipe is boxing and power. Other than that, John Jones is like leagues better than Stipe in every area, and also probably not a natural heavyweight. Like, he's skinnier. But technically wise, even though he wrestled and Stipe had like 30-pound advantage over them in the wrestling match, John Jones was school Stipe. But that's not a point. But either way, what I'm basically saying, John Jones has pretty much every single thing over every single opponent that Ngannou has faced, and is by far the best fighter he'll ever face. And he has the tools to take it to the deep end, to the later rounds and drown him. But like I said, it's a 70% to John Jones chance I favor him to win to a 30% chance for Ngannou, because that power can answer everything. But if John Jones can prevent it from really landing or connecting clean, which he can with all the tools he has, I see him take him to the deep end and drown him. So I said the same thing about a couple times, but that's my analysis for this fight. Jones versus Ngannou. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and come back for more videos. Peace.